I'm Scott, and this is my first annual wrap-up for YouTube. I thought it would be cool to do one of these types of videos at the end of each year. Basically just talk about the channel and how things are going, as well as share some of my thoughts on things that I have to come for Grit Gaming. I'd also like to take some time to share some of my personal life with you all. I tend to be a little private with my online presence, but if I'm going to be doing this YouTube thing, I should probably share more. So yeah, this is very different from my What Makes This Map Great series, but I hope you're down. So grab a drink. I've got my coffee. Let's get into it. So bear with me. I've got a script, but I'm just going to try and keep this very natural. I don't want to do a ton of edits. I want to make this more personable. But at the start of the year, Grit Gaming was in a different place. Let's go back in time. I started posting videos regularly November 22nd of 2024, and some of you may have been there for it. I was doing gaming news videos each week, with the occasional evergreen video for special topics. And that's how this channel was running up until September 2nd of 2025, when I decided to solely focus on evergreen content. That's when What Makes This Map Great was born. This sort of came all about when I just found myself not really excited for most of the gaming news each week. I love gaming, FPSs, especially boomer shooters. I'm also a fan of Soulsborne's, RPGs, and MMOs, but my jam is usually classic FPSs. And then I asked myself, so what game should I start with this series? I love Doom, but you know what? I feel like there's plenty of Doom content out there on YouTube. But there is a game I love more than Doom, and that's Quake. When I think of what game had the most significant impact on my life, it was Quake. I played through the campaign so many times, and to this day it's always installed on my PC. But back in the mid-90s, it was also the multiplayer scene and its clans and communities. And the mods. There were so many mods and custom maps. I created my own custom skins in Microsoft Paint for a couple clans that I was a part of. Shoutouts to Corpse Grinders Clan and Clan Erector, that last one. Anyhow, I also tried my hands at creating maps, and around that time, I never really shared any of them online. I mostly shared them with my close friends that I grew up with. You know, mostly single player experiences, just trying to sort of experiment with map design, monster layouts. My maps were literally just cubes and squares. But I started getting more complicated shapes going over time, trying to build out slopes or chipped walls, create some depth and layering. But anyhow, Doom's been getting a lot of love over the years, and that's great. It's wonderful, actually. It's deserving of it. Its legacy will carry on forever because it's a timeless game, which, by the way, I made a video on that, actually. But I feel like I wanted to make an effort to bring Quake back into the conversation. And maybe, just maybe, some of the devs over at id will see that there is still a fan base for Quake, because we need a new Quake. And I even made a video on that topic as well. So yeah, it's crazy to think that I've only been making WMTMG videos, WMTMG videos. maybe we'll roll with that moving forward. Wimtomage videos since September of 2025. It feels much longer, which is kind of a weird feeling, but that said, you can all expect more. I'm currently dedicated to finishing Quake, even Sandy Peterson's levels. So I hope you enjoy Quake because we've got several more maps to cover in the base game. But we are almost at the end of that chapter for the Wimtomage series. And that's where I want to share my vision of what's to come. So I want to keep Wimtomage going, but instead of focusing on just one game and going through every map for a long period of time from start to finish, I'll be jumping around different games. I think this will help bring some more variety to the channel, and to be honest, it's even going to give me some more variety as well. And I'm also going to be a bit more picky on my map choices. I got a special place in my heart for Quake. That's why I'm doing almost all of the maps, because I love that game so much. But moving forward, I think I need to practice being more critical of my favorite games and truly picking the best of the best. Though my only concern when diving into other games is how easy it'll be for me to film out B-roll and footage. I know most Quake Engine games have consoles that you can access, allowing you to turn off enemy targeting and no clip around the map for some sweet footage shots. But what about games that don't have that? Hopefully there's a photo mode, but anyhow, it's a concern of mine, and it may take me a little time to do some research and testing as I explore different games to feature. As for what games are coming next, well, Quake 2 would be a natural pick, of course. I did love that game, even though it wasn't really a direct sequel to the original Quake. But I'd also like to visit Half-Life 1 and 2. Man, like, those games did so much cool shit. And Dusk, Blood, Duke Nukem, maybe even community maps, or maybe jump into different genres of games like Soulsborns, Metroidvanias. I'd like to do some more modern games as well, but the maps in modern games, they're much larger. For example, I did a test. A Doom 2016 map can take roughly an hour to play through, in comparison to a Quake map, which can take on average 3-4 minutes. With my current cadence of releasing a video every week, that just would be too difficult to do, to fit into 1 week of editing, recording, scripting, things like that. So in those instances, there might be a bit of a slowdown in my content rollout. But in response to that, I was thinking of another type of series to work in tandem. One idea that came to me was a series called What Makes This Weapon Great? These would be shorter in comparison to my map videos, easier to create. Pick a weapon from a classic FPS or any game really, and do a breakdown on its art, design, tech, etc. So yeah, you know, that's what I wanted to share with you all. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on any of this, and also please share like some of your critiques with my current style of videos. I've been trying to step up my production skills, how I present, edit videos, how balanced the audio is. If there's anything I need to work on, please let me know. Okay, so here's the more challenging part where I talk about myself. I love coffee. Anyhow, online I have social accounts and stuff outside of YouTube, but I tend to live a private life, like I said in the beginning of this video. I've just never been good at posting and sharing things on the internet, so that's something I want to work on for 2026. So I'm going to take this moment on this video to share some stuff about me. First, gaming. Outside of Quake, I play other games. I recently finished Hollow Knight Silksong, got the second best ending, I think, and then I found out that there's an ultimate ending, and damn, I'm gonna have to revisit that game again in the future and try and get that ending. But I decided I needed a break from like just 100% pure sweat mode gaming, and I decided to visit my Steam pile of shame. And currently, well, I recently actually just finished Tomb Raider, the 2013 release of Tomb Raider. I had a ton of fun. It was nice to just do some couch gaming, either on my TV or play on my Steam Deck. And yeah, it was way more casual than Silksong. That game was pure sweat mode all the time. So it was nice to have a chill game to just kick my feet up and play and just enjoy the story and the over-the-top sort of action sequences. So now that I finished 2 games, which is like, I'm terrible at finishing games, which this year actually I have bought less games than I have ever in most of my gaming life. So damn those Steam sales, they're super tempting. But I did buy 1 game. I tried out Path of Exile 2 during its free weekend a couple weeks back, and I am so down for that game. Someone who grew up playing all the Diablo games, I played Path of Exile 1 and really enjoyed it. So playing Path of Exile 2 was just so much fun. I've kind of burned out with Diablo 4 after the expansion that came out earlier in the year. I'm also feeling a bit salty about its pricing model for the new expansion of D4. I thought that, you know, being a pre-owner of Vessel of Hatred, maybe they would give us a kickback for already owning that expansion. But unfortunately, to pre-purchase the Age of Hatred game or expansion, like, it includes Vessel of Hatred, and there's like no discount for that. Anyhow, I'll probably pick it up one day, to be honest, but I'm gonna hold off on Diablo for a while, because Path of Exile 2 is just an amazing action RPG. I love everything about the combat, the pacing, you know, how you acquire loot, the upgrade paths, the skill tree. So that's where my current gaming attention is at. Outside of that, I'm always revisiting classic games like Doom here and there, just to blast through some maps and slay demons. Quake, of course. Outside of that, though, I don't really have a whole lot of time to play games, to be honest. Like, focusing on YouTube, working on my videos takes a good chunk of my time, and you know, I'm also married, and you know, there's chores and things we have to do to take care of the house and take care of ourselves. But this leads me to my other favorite hobby, the gym. I love strength training. I've been working out for maybe 10 years. Prior to that, like, I grew up skateboarding, surfing. I was a Southern California kid back in the day. Wow, I'm so old. But I never really got into the gym until about 10 years ago, and it took me a while to become consistent. Honestly, it didn't really happen until about 4 years ago when it just clicked. Like gaming, I enjoyed seeing my personal progression and growth, seeing my stats go up, like seriously. It started clicking when I joined a CrossFit gym, but about a year ago, I left CrossFit and I'm now currently focusing on mostly strength training. Fitness has been a big motivator for me to maintain balance in my life. I'd love to game all day, all the time, but it's just not good for you. Personally, my body was aching and hurting from living a sedentary lifestyle, eating crap and hardly sleeping due to my old gaming habits. Now I go to the gym 4 times a week in the mornings. I prioritize going to bed early and dialing in my diet. And no, my diet isn't super clean. I still love eating pizza and having cookies and cake. But it's about doing those things in moderation. And I've seen some serious gains in the last year. It probably helps that my wife is a certified trainer. She does my programming, so that makes it very easy. I still have to show up though. I still need to go to the gym. I still need to work hard and take care of myself. All of those things come together, and I'm honestly the healthiest and fittest I've ever been. And that's at 43. I'll be 44 in March. Do I sometimes wish I could game out of my mind some days? Like, yeah, of course. And there are some days where I get to game for several hours. But I also want to be fit and capable as I get older. And I want to live a happy, long life. And having this balance has really changed my overall health and well-being. And why am I taking all this time to chat about fitness? This is a gaming channel, right? Well, I want to help inspire and motivate my fellow gamers. If fitness is something that you've struggled with, I want to say that you can still do it. It's never too late. So I've got some fun ideas in collaboration with my wife. She created a Doom Slayer program for me back when Doom Eternal dropped, because I wanted to get jacked like the Doom Slayer. That was during COVID. Gyms shut down and it didn't last very long, but I want to bring it back. Maybe even update the programming for that, like make it match the Slayer's capabilities in the Dark Ages. Or maybe do a Guts program. I love anime, by the way. Berserk is one of my faves. Imagine getting jacked like Guts. I maybe just swing a loaded barbell 100 times with each arm to simulate swinging his big ass sword. On another note, some of you may know that I am a metal musician. You may have noticed some songs in my videos from a band called Dreadring. That's my solo project. Guitar is my main instrument, mostly rhythm, and I try and do leads and solos, but I also play the bass and I program the drums. I don't own or play the drums. I just make sure that the drums sound like they can be played by a human with only 4 limbs. But Dreadring is my solo project, and man, has that been a journey to not only learn how to record instruments, but to mix music at a somewhat professional quality. I gotta give a shout out to one of my friends. He goes by Pitch. He is also a Quake enjoyer, and he is also a metal musician, and has just given me so much knowledge and critiques, and shared his techniques, which helped me sort of find my own sound and techniques during the process. Anyhow, I released my first album earlier this year, hence why I've been using it in my videos to help cross-promote my music for any metal enjoyers out there. It's always been a dream of mine since I first became a musician back when I was roughly like 14 years old, and I picked up my first guitar. Anyhow, it's been hard getting back into that creative space of writing more music. I've got a song cooking though, and writing riffs and blast beats. It's been pretty fun to get back into it. And anyhow, here's a little preview. I'm always learning mixing and mastering techniques. Honestly, like, to me, that's one of the hardest parts of writing music and putting it out there. I'm also trying to challenge myself with my guitar skills. This next album, it's going to demonstrate that, so stay tuned on that front. And you know what? I should probably share this too. This video is already getting longer than I expected, but some of you may be wondering about my background with game mapping and game design and how I think I'm qualified to even talk about the subject. I had been working in the games industry for 10 years as an environment artist, and more recently as a senior environment artist. I started doing freelance work in 2016 after working at a few studios, and it was pretty good, honestly, up until the last couple years. Job instability in video games is a very real reality. After the huge hiring surge of COVID, a lot of studios laid off a bunch of developers and even shut down studios. I'm sure if you follow gaming, you've probably seen these headlines in gaming news all around. I honestly just got tired applying to any job posting relating to my expertise, reaching out to some old friends to see if their studio is hiring. And it's hard to stay employed in the game industry, and I'm just tired of that cycle. Hunt for a job, get hired, work your ass off, get laid off, rinse and repeat. And most of the time it's contracted work, which, you know, that's why I left working at studios and decided to do remote freelance. It's like, nobody wants to hire me full-time anyways, so why not? I do have an indie project cooking in the background, but it's currently on hold. It's bootstrapped, and it's hard to make games, let alone ship one as a true indie developer. It's a 3-man team. It is extremely hard. You take for granted when you work, even in a slightly larger indie team, when you downscale, like, everyone has to wear so many hats. And even outside of like the craft of making the game, marketing, usually someone else does that job. I have no idea how to market a game. So, you know, my partners and I have been like doing a ton of research on that, and we're trying to come up with a plan to make sure that it's done right. I still believe, though, one day we're gonna get this game out the door, and I'll more than likely talk about it here on the channel. Anyhow, that's why I wanted to branch out from game development, do something on my own, and kickstart my Grit Gaming channel here on YouTube. Granted, I am a slave to YouTube and its algorithm, but I get to work for myself. I'm still being creative, and I get to create content on my favorite games. Hey, you made it to the end. That's my annual wrap-up for 2025. It's a lot more than what I initially planned for this video, but if you made it this far, thanks so much for listening to me and watching me talk my head off. It's really been a blast getting to connect with all of you in the comments and seeing you enjoy the content that I'm making, especially now that I've found my niche, and I look forward to making more videos in the future. So here is to 2026, and let's make it a better year than 2025. I guess I should do like my usual outro here. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more Grit Gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.